Good day, folks. How's your new year going? I'm visiting this aquarium. I'm enjoying seeing all the different types of fish they have. While I'm here, we are going to review Finding Dory. Will it be still as grand and touching now that it's Dory's turn to get lost, or is this a sequel we'll easily forget? Let's hope we never forget this. The story. Let's dive right into the story. Dory is a wide-eyed blue tang fish who suffers from memory loss every 10 seconds or so. The one thing she can remember is that she somehow became separated from her parents as a child. With help from her friends, Nemo and Marlin, Dory embarks on an epic adventure to find them. Her journey brings her to the Marine Life Institute, a conservatory that houses diverse ocean species. Dory now knows that her family reunion will only happen if she can save her parents from captivity. What's my opinion about this film? Well, I say it is more exciting than the first film. The animation. Let's swim with the animation. The Pizza Planet truck, a truck that is used to make delivery for Pizza Planet in Toy Story, in a wrecked, sunken state, appears at the area where Dory, Marlin, and Nemo encounter the giant squid, as well as on the freeway passing by the truck heading to Cleveland. The squid's beak in the film is actually upside down. In reality, the giant squid's beak has an underbite rather than an overbite. This is also true of the giant squid in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Dory and Marlin battle a jellyfish cluster in Finding Nemo, and Dory is stung by them, and 3 visible marks can be seen as a result of this, reminding Marlin that he should trust her instincts. In Finding Dory, it's on the same side she gets her tag at the Marine Life Institute to be sent off to Cleveland. There are no marks visible as a result of the jellyfish sting. Although the movie is only set a year apart from one another, one can only presume that the marks may have healed. She gets stung again by Marlin and Nemo's anemone when Dory tries to greet them at one point in the film. Hank has only 7 tentacles because the animators realized they could not fit 8 onto his body. His backstory was rewritten to account for the missing limb. For similar reasons, in the classic science fiction film It Came from Beneath the Sea from 1955, special effects genius Ray Harryhausen was only able to create a stop-motion giant octopus with 6 arms. The tags on the sea lions, Fluke and Rudder, have A1 and 13 on their tails. A113 appears in all Pixar movies as a reference to the Cal Arts room where many of the animators from Pixar Studios attended. The eyebrows on Gerald, the 3rd sea lion who has no dialogue, resemble those of Baby Gerald, Maggie Simpson's archenemy from The Simpsons. Many alumni of The Simpsons, most notably Brad Bird, have gone on to work at Pixar. Inside the Marine Life Institute, by the Open Ocean exhibit, there are models of Crush and Squirt from Finding Nemo, and Crush and Squirt are brought back at the beginning of the movie, taking Marlin, Nemo, and Dory to California. The license plate on the truck is Cala 113. A113 appears in all Pixar movies as a reference to the Cal Arts Room where many of the animators of Pixar Studios attended. The structure of telling Dory's backstory through the small flashbacks was an idea originally conceived for Finding Nemo. Andrew Stanton planned to reveal the loss of Marlin's family through gradual flashbacks that would be triggered by events he experienced in the present, but the idea didn't pan out in execution, particularly for making Marlin initially hard to like or empathize with. The narrative was instead shifted to show Marlin's tragedy at the very beginning, and the flashbacks were scrapped, although Stanton revealed he would like to use the framework in a future film. At the time of Finding Nemo's production, Pixar was not able to animate octopi since they don't have any bone structure. Pearl, as a flapjack octopus, was easier to animate at the time, despite the film still featuring jellyfish, which also lacks bone structure. By the time the sequel had come out, all was figured, along with a lot of other things Pixar had been incapable of animating the past decade. The characters. Let's see what characters will be swimming in this. Throughout the vast ocean, you will not find a fish more hospitable, more friendly, and more sociable than Dory. She would love to chat with you all day and tell you her life story, but she can't. Dory suffers from short-term memory loss. Dory is the aquatic good Samaritan who offers to help Marlin on his journey to find his son. She is certainly an odd partner for such a quest, but her autism proves an invaluable quality to help overcome the impossible. To Dory, the glass is always half full. Hank is an octopus. Actually, he's a septopus. He lost a tentacle, along with his sense of humor, somewhere along the way. But Hank is just as competitive as his 8-armed peers. An accomplished escape artist with camouflaging capabilities to boot, Hank is the first to greet Dory when she finds herself in the Marine Life Institute. But make no mistake, he's not looking for a friend. Hank is after one thing: a ticket on a transport truck to a cozy Cleveland facility where he'll be able to enjoy a peaceful life of solitude. He is voiced by Ed O'Neill, who also voiced Mr. Litwack from Wreck-It Ralph.
No. If I just take your tag, I can take your place on the transport truck. Then you can go back inside and find your family.
I'll have someone look at it tomorrow, but if you can't fix it, it might be time to put old Ralph and Felix out to pasture. Like my Nana.
Bailey is the Marine Life Institute's resident beluga whale who is convinced his biological sonar skills are on the fritz. The good news, or bad news, depending on who you ask, is that doctors at the MLI can't seem to find anything wrong with him. Bailey's flair for the dramatic never ceases to push the neighbor's buttons. Whale shark Destiny can't seem to get through to him, no matter how hard she tries. Maybe she'll listen to his new friend Dory, who seems to be full of crazy ideas. He is voiced by Ty Burrell, who also voiced Mr. Peabody from Mr. Peabody and Sherman, and Henry Gardner from Storks. Destiny may be a clumsy swimmer, but she has a big heart. She has a big everything, actually. Whale sharks are the biggest fish in the sea. Destiny resides in the Marine Life Institute, where one day an oddly familiar blue tang named Dory falls into her pool. Destiny is admittedly embarrassed by her obvious lack of grace, a product of poor eyesight, very nearsighted, but Dory thinks she swims beautifully. And Dory is delighted to learn that her supersized friend speaks whale too. Destiny and Dory used to talk through pipes when they were little. A barracuda character voiced by David L. Lander was supposed to appear in the film, but the character was likely scrapped because it seemed hard to make a barracuda not be an enemy after the one seen in the start of Finding Nemo. With over 25 million likes, Dory is the most liked character on Facebook from any Disney or Pixar film. Voiced by Ed O'Neill, Hank the octopus is initially grumpy, misanthropic, and wishes to live alone away from family or friends. Ed is no stranger to playing a grumpy character who wishes to avoid his family. One of his most famous roles is the hapless misanthropic shoe salesman Al Bundy on the 1986 film Married with Children. Along with Fluke and Rudder, there is a third sea lion at the Marine Life Institute named Gerald. Gerald was the name of the pelican that nearly swallowed Marlin and Dory in Finding Nemo, only to be stopped by Nigel. Crush, Squirt, and the other sea turtles are the only characters met during Marlin and Dory's journey in the first film to return in the sequel, not including the occupants of the dentist P. Sherman's fish tank in Finding Nemo, who appear after the end credits. Let me tell you a story to end this review. The ending of the film was rewritten after the creator saw the documentary Blackfish, which advocates against the treatment of animals in marine parks. After seeing Blackfish, they retooled the film so that the sea creatures now have the choice to leave that marine park. They told Gabriella they didn't want to look back on this film in 50 years and have it be their Song of the South. The sleep swimming scene from the teaser trailer was originally part of the movie and was much longer. In original versions of the movie, all of Dory's flashback sequences were part of one single scene which would have told all of her backstory at the beginning of the movie, but after a test screening, they decided to tell her backstory through flashbacks over the course of the movie. Originally, Dory's parents would have suffered from short-term memory loss, which would make Dory's line that her memory loss runs in the family as a fact, but this was changed as Andrew Stanton realized it could be frustrating to have all of Dory's family forget what each other said through the movie. There was originally a parents' school day sequence in where Dory was going to start feeling nostalgic for her family. While the Tank Gang do show up in the movie as part of the after-credits scene, they originally had a bigger role where they would have encountered Dory, Marlin, and Nemo after escaping the giant squid, and they would have helped Nemo and Marlin to rescue Dory from the Institute. Why this didn't end up happening in the final film hasn't been revealed, but is believed by fans to be because Stanton is saving the Tank Gang's storyline for the third film. Hank at one point was going to have an obsession for hot sauce. Bailey at one point was going to be female and Destiny's sister, and the sisters would have been on bad terms before they reconcile at the end. Destiny was originally a killer whale instead of a whale shark. This was most likely changed due to the aforementioned Blackfish influence. Adding to that, Destiny was originally going to be Dory's adopted sister. How that would have worked out is anyone's guess, but the script was rewritten to make them just childhood friends instead. The giant squid originally had dialogue trying to lure Dory into his clutches by pretending to be her uncle. In January 2013, while on Ellen's show to promote Struck by Lightning, Chris Colfer was in squee over the film finally being announced and practically begged for a part even if it was just a one-scene gag. Referencing a line from the first film when Dory mumbles, "Sea monkey has my money," in her sleep, Colfer pitched a scenario when Dory encounters the said sea monkey. And that's the end. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to explore more of this aquarium. So, TTFN, ta-ta for now.